Alpine and Pierre Gasly lead the first free practice. Yes, you heard right. Lando Norris and McLaren with Piastri, alongside him, lead the second free practice. But Max Verstappen's future dominates the news, as we had already anticipated here yesterday. A lot of speculation about his future. Will he stay at Red Bull? Will he stay at Red Bull for just one more year? Will he go to Aston Martin? Will he go to Mercedes? 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙦 misses the second free session due to a fuel leak problem. Friday, April 18th, 2025, the start of a long holiday weekend. So since you're off, sit down so we can talk about everything, and let's move forward. The first free practice session in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia at the very fast Corniche circuit, which is rarely used and therefore was very dirty in the first laps, was led by Pierre Gasly's Alpine, with Lando Norris in second and Leclerc in third. 4:30 p.m. local time, 10:30 in the morning this Good Friday in Brazil. Green light, everyone went out on the track. In the initial laps, most were using medium tires, trying to understand the grip levels and how dirty the track was. And then on Friday, the first contact of the cars with the track, Oscar Piastri complains on the radio. Hydration fluid, his drink, was leaking inside the helmet. Right at the beginning, it was George Russell who set the benchmark at 1:29.674. Russell, whose name is involved in speculation that he is already signing a renewal with Mercedes, why, we'll talk about that when we discuss Verstappen, was 0.306 seconds faster than Norris at that point. At that moment, Verstappen was third, and then Carlos Sainz, with a Williams that is running very fast on the Saudi Arabian track, took Norris out of the second position, but we have to give the due discount because he was already on red tires, which are softer and faster. When everyone switched to soft tires, it was Norris who put McLaren in the first position with a time of 1:29.246. But then Gasly put his Alpine 0.007 of a second faster than the McLaren of the championship leader, in a good sequence by Gasly for Alpine, which last week scored its first points in 2025 with a 7th place, which was 6th until the penultimate lap. And at the top, Gasly remained with a time of 1:29.239, with Norris, Leclerc, and Piastri in second, third, and fourth, Alexander Albon in fifth. I mentioned that Williams is doing well. George Russell in sixth with Mercedes. Russell, who complained a lot about the Mercedes brakes, while Antonelli at the beginning of this first session also mentioned that the pedal was vibrating. Sainz was 7th, Lewis Hamilton 8th, ahead of the two Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda. These complete the top 10. Liam Lawson, dismissed from Red Bull, was 11th, right behind Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg, with a Sauber that brings several updates, was 12th. Antonelli was 13th, Alonso 14th, and Zach Hadjar 15th. Jack Doohan was 16th, Lance Stroll 17th, and the Haas duo Behrman, who a year ago finished 7th, replacing Sainz with appendicitis for Ferrari, was 18th, Ocon 19th, Gabriel Bortoleto 20th. Between the two sessions, what was buzzing in the news were the discussions about possible directions for Max Verstappen. And we already have both from Verstappen and Christian Horner, the two emphatic denials. And those of us who follow Formula One closely know, and if you don't know, I'll tell you, the first requirement to believe a rumor involving race cars and drivers changing teams is the need for a denial. Don't believe anything in Formula One until it has been properly denied. Well, it has been denied. In the Thursday press conference, Verstappen said, "Everyone is talking about my future, all except me. I'm just focused on improving my car." Today, Christian Horner said he is sure that Verstappen will be in one of their cars at the start of the 2026 season. This aligns a bit with what I said on the Motorsport podcast on Monday. The video was shown on Tuesday. I'll leave the link in the description. If there's a driver in a position to delay this decision and even enter the new era in 2026, observing how each of the interested parties in his name is doing, Mercedes, Aston Martin, and Red Bull itself. And just yesterday, I even mentioned Alpine, which will be a Mercedes client. It's Verstappen. After all, at this moment, he is a highly valued name, the most valued name with a contract until 2028. Where? With Red Bull, so he doesn't risk being left without a drive. That's why he can wait, so see how things will turn out. Maybe Red Bull powertrains with Ford support will make a great engine and the team will build a great car, or he can wait to see between Mercedes and Honda who will have the best engine, who will come with the best car, and then he makes his decision. It's better to wait a year, hold your cards here before playing any and risk making the wrong choice. This week, news also emerged on Motorsport Italy from a serious journalist, Roberto Quintero, saying that Russell is preparing to renew with Mercedes. I mentioned on the Motorsport Brazil podcast that this move to anticipate things is happening because Mercedes knows that possibly they won't have a chance to sign Verstappen, so to avoid leaving Russell exposed since his contract ends at the end of this year, they thought, let's renew with the guy so it doesn't appear to everyone that he's the second option. He would get a salary increase and it wouldn't be absurd at all. Russell is having an excellent season, isn't he? So at the moment, a lot is being said, figures are being exposed, and apparently Aston Martin has offered Verstappen a 3-year contract worth 290-something million pounds. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. Sometimes a lot is being discussed and nothing will change, which doesn't mean that what we're discussing here isn't correct. When the entire international press is saying it, we say it too. And we add our 2 cents on what can and cannot happen, what seems likely and what doesn't. At this moment, what doesn't seem likely at all is Verstappen going to McLaren or Red Bull or to Ferrari. Why? Because both teams have signed contracts. McLaren, even if Norris and Piastri aren't the best, is dominating the championship with the car, and both are leading the standings. They should keep them on equal footing, secure the Constructors' Championship, and let them fight it out later for the driver's title. Ferrari has Leclerc and Hamilton, and their problem at the moment is not the drivers. By improving the car, both are capable of winning. Hamilton has already won the sprint in China. And about Alpine's story from yesterday, you might ask me. They have a Mercedes engine promised for next year, have a reasonably competent organization that has made good cars in the past, made a significant production leap at the end of 2024. And Flavio Briatore seems to be the kind of guy who, since we're here, let's try to win, isn't that right? As far as we know, there are performance clauses, there always are in Verstappen's contract, and they should be activated if he drops to about 4th position around September. Which means that a lot of things might already be pre-signed, pre-arranged, pre-contracted. A pre-contract that activates if the window opens. Speaking of opening, it's time to open this box of Formula Collection cars that we will raffle for our subscribers during this Sunday's live stream. Shall we? Ferrari 2146. Pure charm of a little red cigar. The cutest thing, huh? Diego from Formula Collection has a very good taste. Second, the Mercedes W14 from 2023. All black number. This one is 44. Hamilton's. And finally, the Benetton B190 that won the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka with Nelson Piquet. Beautiful colors of the Benetton. In addition, 3 books from Gulliver Publishing where mine was published. And these gifts will go to our subscribers. There's still time for you to become one too. Join button or become a member. Link also down below in the description. 4 plans, Gene Haas, Paddock Pass, Stefano Domenicali, and Lawrence Stroll. 4 different values. All have guaranteed gifts in all the last live streams of the month, every month of the season, and also the 3 books. They watch the videos in Premiere, have priority response in these live streams, and also in the project, the other channel. Deal? To participate, you need to be a channel subscriber, join the live stream, and shout in the comment box, I want, because then Houston filters you by I want, puts it in the spreadsheet, does the automatic draw, and just tells me in my ear, so-and-so won such. And I'll announce it here Then the next day, I'll go to the post office and send it to you. Deal? It's our way of giving back for the massive support we receive. We are surpassing 700 subscribers. And here we've already raffled off tickets for Formula E Porsche Cup 1,000 miles. In fact, there have been 2,000 miles already that this has happened. WEC tickets last year, it was a 10-month season, 3 little cars, per month, 30 little cars, 30 books, and whatever else shows up here, and there's more to come. Stay tuned, all right? So that's it, agreed. The second session had more normal contours, so to speak. McLaren in front, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, also with more representative times, and with weather conditions that match the qualifying and the Sunday race because FP1 was still held in the sun, and things happen, but during the day, at night, race and qualifying. Right at the beginning, Norris put the car at the top with a 129.272 still on medium tires, just slightly off Gasly's first time in FP1, a 129.239, but now on medium tires, showing the track's evolution. At the 15-minute mark of the session, Piastri went and placed his McLaren number 81 in second position, 0.01 behind his teammate. Leclerc then comes and sets the third fastest time, 0.2 behind on a track where many people are saying Ferrari can perform well, with smooth asphalt, which would allow them to run lower. This has been Ferrari's problem. Difficulty in adjusting the height, because on bumpy tracks, the floor hits, wears out, and it happens like with Hamilton, who was disqualified. Since in Saudi Arabia, the asphalt is like a carpet, it might be that this time they can manage to do something. Traffic then ended up being a problem. It has always been a problem on this track, and both Verstappen and Hamilton had moments of unintentionally blocking opponents. But anyway, it's a radio issue. Verstappen hindered Norris, Hamilton hindered Albon, and both will be investigated. Leclerc improved his time to 129.002 ahead of the two McLarens around the middle of the session. This was still before the switch to soft tires. Russell from the leading group was the first to switch and dropped into the 28 range. Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri momentarily topped the leaderboard until Norris came on soft tires with McLaren and clocked a 28 CU 340, surpassing everyone. But he had more and went on to do another lap, a 28.267, increasing his margin. Second was Oscar Piastri 0 in 0.163 behind, with Verstappen in third, Leclerc fourth, and an impressive Williams with Carlos Sainz in fifth. Sainz, who, as I mentioned a year ago, didn't even compete in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He was on the operating table. Yuki Tsunoda was sixth in what would have been a good session, but he actually ended up in the wall. In that same wall of the last corner that leads to the start and finish straight, where Verstappen threw away a lap in Q3 in 2021. Remember? In what was going to be the pole lap, and he made a mistake? Well, Tsunoda also ended up in the barrier. Red flag. And then there was only 1 minute left to finish. Nothing significant was going to happen. Russell, Gasly, Hülkenberg, and Albon completed the top 10. These good times from Hülkenberg might indicate that Bortoleto Sauber also has potential for this, but I'll talk about Bortoleto in a moment. Antonelli was 11th, Isaac Hadjar 12th, Liam Lawson 14th, and in between them, Lewis Hamilton with the number 44 Ferrari. Alonso was 15th, Behrman 16th, Jack Doohan 17th, Lance Stroll 18th, Esteban Ocon 19th. It's alarming how often Ocon has been behind Behrman, isn't it? And in 20th was Bortoleto, who, with fuel leakage problems, didn't even run in the second part. Tomorrow, the third free practice takes place at 10:30, and the qualifying at 2 o'clock. Once the qualifying is over, I rush here and make that quick video for you, commenting on everything, the race prospects, and then I meet you 15 minutes before the start on our second screen broadcast project. Another channel, you already know it, right? Tune in to BAN or Fun TV, lower the volume, and tune in here on Splash and Go to have your other channel to follow Formula One, which is this channel. But it's another channel for you that now can listen with different narration and commentary. Mateus Ornelas, whom we borrowed from the NFL to narrate the race. Me on commentary. And we will be monitoring the race direction, the radios, you'll be bringing information to you, answering your questions, on screen, your super chats. Deal? Appointment set 15 minutes before the start. Tomorrow I'll already have the live stream created with the fixed link in the first comment. This week, I already mentioned it yesterday, but it's never too much to reinforce. On Tuesday, the video about the V10 engine saga, discussing and covering all aspects, the pros, the cons, who is who in this discussion, and even delving into deeper topics like energy efficiency, electrification, and so on. It's worth following. On Wednesday, a small great story about the 500 miles of Monza-Napolis. Yes, this happened. The so-called race of two worlds between Formula One and Indy. It happened twice, in 57 and 58. And Indy beat Formula One both times. All right? So, have a great Friday. Enjoy the long weekend. We'll see you here. In the post-qualifying video on Saturday, on the other channel, Sunday, 15 minutes before the start and until the checkered flag, and then in the Sunday Live with Prize giveaways at 6 o'clock. Deal? All right then. Friday, you know it. Thanks. Take care. It's Friday. Oh, and be sensible. Watch out for the codfish.